Hi everyone, today we are going to be doing a tutorial on vinyasas and their modifications. So we're just going to come into a seated position. You can sit back on your heels or crisscross, whatever's comfortable. We're going to gently close our eyes, place our hands on our knees, and just begin breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Really just settling into our breath as we go into this tutorial. Inhale, exhale. Breathing gently in through the nose and out through the nose. Place one hand on your heart and another on your belly. Continue breathing, but consciously breathe into your whole body, feeling your chest and your belly expanding and contracting with each breath. Put your hands back on your knees. Take one more breath. And now we're going to get ready to move into a modified vinyasa. And we're going to walk through this really slow so you can really feel each pose as we compose the whole vinyasa. Inhale the arms up overhead. Swan dive into a child's pose. Breathing here. Take a few breaths, and on an inhale, we are going to slowly rise and roll forward into a kneeling plank. Bring the feet up and you can crisscross them. Make sure your shoulders are in line with your wrists and that you have a straight line from the crown of your head down to your knees. On an exhale, lower down and drop the feet. Inhale, we're going to push up into an upward facing dog, but if that's too much, you can come into a Sphinx pose where you just place your arms in front of you. Otherwise, we're going to push up into an upward facing dog and then roll back into child's pose. We're going to roll through that again. Remember, this is a modified vinyasa. Inhale, roll through to kneeling plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll back into child's pose. One more time. Inhale to kneeling plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Drop the feet. Inhale, upward facing dog or sphinx. Lower. Roll back into child's pose. Take a breath or two here. Then slowly rise and sit back on the heels. Take a breath here, in and out. We're going to inhale the arms up, bring the hands down to heart center. Go ahead and extend forward and come back into a downward facing dog. We're going to stay in downward facing dog for a little bit, just getting comfortable in this pose. Make sure your feet are hip width apart and your hands are shoulder width apart. You can bend the knees, pedal through the legs. Make sure your belly button is sucked up and in, and that you're pushing your armpits towards the floor, creating that space in your chest, and your shoulder blades are pulling together. Just really sink into it and just get comfortable breathing. Now we're going to roll through to high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Place the tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Push the tops of the feet into the floor. Curl the toes back under. Roll back into downward facing dog. We're going to do that again. This is a full vinyasa. Inhale, roll through to high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower the feet. Inhale, push up into up dog, curl the toes, roll back into down dog. Once more, roll through, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, and then roll back into child's pose. That is a full vinyasa, and it's okay if you can't get through the whole thing without dropping your knees. You will get there eventually. When I first started, I had to keep my knees on the floor the entire time. Take a few more breaths here in your child's pose, and then gently rise up. We're going to go through one more way to modify a vinyasa, and this is if you can do some of it, but not all of it in the full form. Inhale the arms overhead, hands to heart center. Come into a downward facing dog. Now, given that you can be in a downward facing dog, we're going to inhale, roll through to high plank, drop the knees if you can't do that full chaturanga, lower, inhale, upward facing dog, curl the toes, roll back into a down dog. Let's move through that again. Inhale, roll through to high plank, drop the knees, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, curl the toes, back into downward facing dog. Once more. High plank, drop the knees, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, roll back into child's pose. Keep the arms extended out in front of you. Gently roll up. Sweep the arms overhead. Bring the hands to heart center. One more time, inhale the arms up, then swan dive down into child's pose. We're going to run through all three types of vinyasas one more time. On your knees, roll through from child's pose to kneeling plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Drop the feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll back into a child's pose. Few breaths here. Roll up. Come into a full downward facing dog. Get comfortable. On an inhale, roll through to high plank. Lower chaturanga. Drop the feet. Lift up, upward facing dog. Curl the toes. Roll back into downward facing dog. And now the middle of the road vinyasa. Roll through to high plank. Drop the knees. Lower chaturanga. Lower the feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll back into down dog. Lower the knees. Sit back into child's pose once more. Take a breath. Rest the hands on the heels or on the small of your back, wherever is comfortable. And when you're ready, gently rise up. And we're going to finish this tutorial with some more breath work. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. And begin inhaling and exhaling deeply, feeling your belly expand and your lungs expand and contract with each breath. Once more, inhale and exhale. Inhale the arms up overhead. Bring your hands to heart center. Namaste. Thanks for joining me in this vinyasa tutorial.